Your toddler's first day of preschool could shape their social confidence for years, but most parents are teaching the wrong skills. Here's what I mean. When your toddler grabs a toy from another child, you probably say, "No, we share." But sharing isn't a natural instinct at this age, it's a learned skill. And here's the problem. Most parents focus on sharing while missing the 5 foundational skills that preschools actually expect kids to already have. If you've ever worried your toddler won't fit in, you're not alone. Most parents assume preschool will teach the social rules, the emotional regulation, the ability to play nicely. But here's what actually happens. Imagine your toddler in circle time. Another child gets called on first. Your child melts down, not because they're misbehaving, but because they haven't yet learned the invisible social code every preschool expects. And here's what makes this so critical. These early social moments don't just affect one morning. They become the lens through which your child sees themselves in group settings for years. So today, I'm walking you through the 5 foundational skills that matter most, and exactly how to teach them before that first day. Now, these aren't random tips. They're 5 pillars of social confidence, and they build on each other like a staircase. First, your child learns to recognize their own emotions, so feelings don't become crises. Then, they learn to communicate those needs with words instead of aggression. Next, they practice waiting and turn-taking, so patience becomes manageable. After that, they develop social awareness, the ability to read body language and respect boundaries. And finally, they learn to repair conflict, so mistakes become growth instead of shame. Emotions are the foundation. Communication is the first floor. Turn-taking is the second floor. Social awareness is the third floor. And repair? That's the roof, the thing that holds everything together when storms hit. 5 pillars, 1 confident child. Let's break them down. Skill 1. Identifying and naming emotions. Toddlers act out because they feel something they can't say. Here's what's actually happening. When your child throws a block across the room, their nervous system is flooded. Frustration, disappointment, maybe jealousy. Their emotional brain is screaming, but they don't have the words for it. Developmental neuroscience shows us that while the emotional brain is fully active right now, the thinking brain, the part responsible for logic and impulse control, is still under major construction. It's like expecting an adult to describe complex emotions in a language they've never studied. The feeling is there, but the words aren't. This is where emotional naming changes everything. Your toddler wants the block another child is holding. You see their face tighten, their fists clench, their breath quickens. You step in before the grab and say, "Your body looks angry, your fists are tight. You wanted the block." That's frustrating. You're not asking them to stop feeling it. You're building the bridge between what they feel and what they can say. Now, this takes repetition. It might feel like you're doing it dozens of times a day, but that repetition is exactly how neural pathways form. Every time you name the emotion they're experiencing, you're literally wiring their brain to recognize it next time. And here's the crucial part. You're not waiting for them to use these words back to you. Right now, you're just planting seeds. The understanding comes first. The language follows. Now that your toddler can name their frustration, here's what comes next. Skill 2. Asking instead of grabbing. Most parents correct the grab after it happens. Share. Give it back. And everyone ends up upset. But here's the thing. Your toddler isn't being selfish. Their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that handles impulse control, is still under construction. At this age, grabbing is their instinct. Asking isn't. So instead of correcting after the grab, we teach the alternative before the hand moves. You say, "I see you want that. Let's use our words." Can you say, "Can I have a turn when you're done?" Or simpler, "When you're finished, may I use it?" And if that's still too long for your toddler, start with just 2 words, "Turn, please," or "My turn." Now, you model this phrase 3, 4, 5 times before they ever attempt it themselves. And when they do try, they might mumble it. They might say it while grabbing anyway. That's normal. You're rewiring an impulse. What you're teaching isn't just politeness. You're teaching that words unlock cooperation in ways grabbing never can. Words build trust. Words keep friendships intact. Words give your child social power. But asking for the toy is only half the battle. What happens when the answer is, "Wait"? Skill 3. Taking turns and delayed gratification. Let's be honest. Sharing is too abstract for a toddler. Their sense of time is fuzzy. Their sense of ownership is concrete. Asking them to share feels like asking them to give away a piece of themselves. But taking turns, that's structured. That's visible. That has an end. Think about the adult version of this. Imagine someone walking up, taking your phone mid-text and saying, "I need this." No explanation, no timeline. You'd be furious. That's what share feels like to a 2-year-old. But if someone said, "I need to borrow this for 5 minutes, then you'll have it back," that's manageable. This is where visual timers become essential. Use a sand timer or a color-coded clock because toddlers process what they can see much better than abstract numbers. You say, "It's her turn now." When the sand runs out, it's your turn. And then, this is critical. When the time is up, you follow through every single time. Because if the sand runs out and they don't get their turn, you've just taught them that waiting is pointless. Practice this at home first with siblings, with you, with toys they love. Make it low stakes and repetitive. Because here's the key. The playground isn't the place to introduce turn-taking. The living room is. Even with words and patience, your toddler needs one more thing: the ability to read the room. Skill 4. Reading social cues. Many toddlers struggle socially not because they're unkind, but because body language is a foreign language they've never been taught to read. And we expect them to just know it. But they don't. They need us to translate in real time. So when another child turns their body away, or pulls a toy closer to their chest, or furrows their brow, those are signals. And you can teach your toddler to see them. Here's how you translate that in the moment. Your toddler walks up to another child playing with blocks and stands inches from their face. The other child leans back. Your toddler steps closer. The child turns their body away. Your toddler follows. You step in. Notice how he moved back when you got close? That means he needs more space. Let's stand here instead. Then you wait. Your toddler might protest, but you stay calm. If he wants to play, he'll move toward us. Or, see how Emma's holding the doll close to her body? That means she's not ready to share it yet. Let's ask her if she wants to play together, or if she wants time by herself. You're teaching observation. You're teaching cause and effect. You're teaching empathy before they even understand the concept. And here's the beautiful part. This skill builds with exposure, not pressure. You're not forcing your child to change their behavior in the moment. You're just helping them see what's happening. The more they notice, the more they adjust naturally over time. And when all of this fails, because it will, here's how to teach the most important skill of all. Skill 5. Repairing mistakes. Here's what most parents get wrong about apologies. They treat them like magic words. Say you're sorry. The toddler mumbles it. Everyone moves on. But an apology without repair is just a script. In fact, forcing a sorry often creates shame instead of empathy. It doesn't teach accountability or rebuild trust. And it doesn't help your child understand the impact of their actions. Think about a time someone said sorry to you, but clearly didn't mean it. It didn't fix the relationship, did it? Your toddler can feel that difference too. They know when sorry is real and when it's just noise. Real repair has 3 steps. Acknowledge what happened, take action to make it better, and reconnect. Here's what that looks like. Your toddler hits another child because they wouldn't give up the toy. You don't force an immediate sorry. Instead, you kneel down and say, "You hit your friend. That hurt them. Look, they're crying. Let's go check if they're okay. What do you think they need right now? Maybe a hug? Maybe some space? Should we bring them their special blanket?" You're teaching that our actions affect other people, and that we have the power to make things better after we've made them worse. Now, this won't look perfect at first. Your toddler might refuse to go over, they might cry, they might want to run away from the situation entirely. That's all developmentally normal. The key is not to force robotic remorse. The key is to model what repair looks like again and again until they internalize it. And here's the truth. Adults struggle with this skill too. Real repair, the kind that actually heals relationships, is one of the most emotionally complex things a human can learn. Teaching it early doesn't just help your toddler navigate preschool. It shapes how they handle conflict for life. Now, you might be looking at this list and thinking, my toddler doesn't do any of this. They can't name their feelings, they grab constantly. They lose it when they have to wait. They don't read social cues. And they definitely don't repair conflict. Here's what's important to understand. That doesn't mean you've failed. It doesn't mean your child is behind. It means they're a toddler. Because here's the developmental reality. Some children learn emotional vocabulary at 2, while others don't get it until 4. Some master turn-taking quickly. Others struggle with it for years. Both paths, all paths, are normal development. What you're doing right now by teaching these patterns consistently and calmly is giving your child's brain the chance to build pathways. You're not creating perfection, you're creating possibility. So in 6 months, you might not see a perfectly polite preschooler. But here's what you will see: a child who can say, "I'm frustrated," instead of hitting, who asks for turns instead of grabbing, who notices when a friend needs space, who attempts repair after a conflict. That's not perfection, that's transformation. And that transformation doesn't happen in a straight line. There will be days when your child handles turn-taking beautifully and then melts down over sharing their snack. There will be weeks of progress followed by what feels like regression. That's not failure. That's how development works, in spirals, not straight lines. You're building a foundation, and foundations don't show their strength until you build on top of them. These 5 skills aren't just about preschool readiness. They're about giving your child the emotional language, the self-control, and the social awareness to walk into any room, at 3 years old or 30, and know they belong. You're not just teaching behavior, you're teaching connection, confidence, emotional literacy. And that's the foundation for everything that comes next. Not just preschool, but friendships, classroom success, and ultimately, the ability to build meaningful relationships throughout their life. Now, if you're noticing that, even with your support, your toddler hesitates with peers, freezes in group settings, or seems overwhelmed socially, that's worth paying attention to. Before you click away, watch this video. It'll help you understand what those quiet signals really mean and what to do next. I'll see you there.